This Formula 1 season, we're seeing a lot of drivers get considered for the Formula 1 seats. There has been so much drama, and yet half of the teams on the grid still don't have their drivers lined up for next year. There is a reason that this season has been called the silly season in Formula 1. Now, apart from the usual names that we're used to hearing, there are some brand new and some older faces who just might make a comeback. So hello and welcome to Fervent Motorsports, and today we're going to take you through a list of new possible candidates for next year's Formula 1 seats. Recently, it came to light that some teams would prefer a driver with experience in a Formula 1 car. Now, there's a pretty simple reason for this: money. Formula 1 is a damn expensive sport, and the cost of a Formula 1 car is around 15 million euros, which is around 120 crore rupees. Now, when you put a rookie in a Formula 1 car, it's the first time they are experiencing the realities of racing in Formula 1. Simply put, rookies crash more. Nicholas Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Nikita Mazepin, Yuki Tsunoda. All of these rookies were a bit too excited in a Formula 1 car and they crashed a number of times. And yes, you guessed it, it does get costly. Teams know this. And that's why they're now considering a driver who knows their way around a Formula 1 car. This allows the teams to focus more on scoring points and less on wondering if their car is going to finish the race at all. And that's why the drivers who have been thrown into the mix now are more experienced drivers. Number 1, we have Nyck de Vries. The very first driver on the list, of course, is Nyck de Vries. To understand why he's here, it's pretty simple. He got into a Formula 1 car on very short notice and he outqualified his teammate. On race day, he scored 2 points for a team who had just 4 points. And yes, he had no incidents during the race. Staying cool and collected under the Formula 1 lights is a challenge, and Nyck de Vries indeed passed it with flying colors. This is why the talk about him has gathered more steam, with teams now realizing that he would make a great asset to any Formula 1 team. I mean, Toto Wolff chose him for a reason. At number 2, we have Antonio Giovinazzi. Lovingly called Italian Jesus by fans, his Formula 1 career could be rising from the dead and making a comeback. He's an experienced driver who knows his way around a car, and he'll be taking part in 2 practice sessions for Haas this year. He's not having the best season in Formula E with a whopping 0 points in 16 races. Number 3, Nico Hülkenberg. If there's someone who you can never count out of the mix, it's of course the Hulk. Nico Hülkenberg has been a part of Formula 1 since 2010. He's raced for many teams and he's currently the reserve driver for Aston Martin. When Sebastian Vettel was down with COVID, it was Hülkenberg who stepped in and he did a pretty good job. But if he does get into Haas, I can't wait for the reunion between him and Kevin Magnussen. Number 4 is Colton Herta. Now, I said that teams want experienced drivers who don't crash, so why is Herta on the list? He's 22, he races in Indy Car and he doesn't even have a super license. And yes, he does crash a lot. I mean a lot. But he is a quick driver with a lot of promise, and Red Bull is willing to overlook their junior drivers to give Herta a chance in Formula 1. It's a similar gamble to what they took with Verstappen, and just look at how that gamble paid off. And number 5 and last on the list is Daniel Kvyat. Daniel Kvyat's exit from Formula 1 was anything but smooth. Max Verstappen took over his F1 seat and then even started dating his girlfriend, and Kvyat was out of Formula 1. Kvyat spent his end days at Formula 1 with Toro Rosso. But as far as crashes go, he was nicknamed the Torpedo by Sebastian Vettel when he would just crash a bit too much. Surprisingly though, it's not his reputation for crashing that might hinder his Formula 1 return. It's the country. He's Russian, and he would have to race under a different flag and license in order to be able to take part in Formula 1. This might not be an issue, but if he does come back, the one thing I'm looking forward to is the hard-based moments of Daniel Kvyat. So those are the new drivers who could potentially join Formula 1. Who do you think it's going to be? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, stay tuned to Fervent Motorsports as we get you the best of all motorsport action.